Miz comes out. He complains about the lack of respect in the locker room. When he joined WWE, he was taught respect. You come in, you shake hands with the elders. When you enter. LA Knight never shook hands. I was like, I love this Miz heel character.
Love this.
He's the salty veteran that just wants the industry to be the way it used to be. And says LA Knight did not shake his hand. I'm sick of people showing a lack of respect from this crop of new talent. So yes, folks, this is a 42-year-old Miz browbeating a 40-year-old rookie, LA Knight.
I mean, 10 years says a whole lot, doesn't it? Like, yeah, anyway. In Japan, this would somehow make sense.
Knight comes out, and he thought he made a great introduction to him in the Battle Royal. The crowd yells his name, and Miz turns down a handshake when Knight offers it. Miz says he's seen these guys try to ride his coattails, and Miz says, if you strip away my charisma, my talent, my hot wife, you know what you get? You get LA Knight. Just an Attitude Era fanboy cosplaying in the ring.
Great line.
Oh, Kevin Nash is spear. He was cosplaying Kevin Nash here. That's the funny part.
What, with a vest?
No, this was Kevin Nash's criticism of LA Knight.
What do you mean it was Oh, you mean Miz was cosplaying Kevin Nash? Okay.
Miz is just taking Kevin Nash's.
To be fair, it's a lot of people's criticisms of LA Knight.
He gets a tiny balls reference here, and then Knight says Miz doesn't want to make this personal. Miz says, I do take this personally. This is my career. He goes over all he's done in 20 years. What have you been doing for 20 years? And Knight comes back and says, I've been scratching and clawing for 20 years while WWE's been betting on all the wrong horses like you. Mm-hmm. I've been on a parallel path, but a rockier one, while you got a head start here in this company because you're safe. And they could toss you out of the locker room because you'd take it. They didn't take a chance on me because I'm a dangerous man. And I'm not one to get messed up with. And he says he's on the rise while your career is in the toilet. And he got a bit tongue-tied here, but recovered. And he's going to use Miz as a stepping stone to go to the main event. Miz screams, I'm not a stepping stone. And as Knight goes to challenge him, Miz hits him with a cheap shot. But then it's a skull-crushing finale that gets stopped. And Knight ends it with the blunt force trauma onto the Miz. A really entertaining segment that these two had.
I thought this was an outstanding segment. I don't think you could have asked for more from a Miz segment in 2023. I thought it was a wonderful follow-up to LA Knight's Battle Royal win, and what really felt like I think a pretty his biggest weekend, certainly, during his WWF run, probably his entire wrestling career. This was also an introduction for LA Knight to a WWE Raw audience on a different network, and for people that already know LA Knight, a reintroduction with him as now a guy with the company's rocket strapped to his back. We
got both Duprees on Raw.
I think
brother and sister reunited.
I think he's disowned that name, but you're right. They can reunite at some point. They're making the family proud. I thought they found a great way to draw association between Miz and LA Knight. Miz as the guy who, plays grumpy veteran, upset at these sort of young up and comers not shaking his hand, which I think is just hilarious reason to get mad at somebody. But
that was the whole Booker T deal with the Bucks.
Well, countless others that we probably didn't even know about. But it's just it sounds so stupid that it makes for wonderful heel logic to hate somebody, right? I think also you're just an Attitude Era fanboy cosplaying in my ring is a great line that again feels pulled from reality for real criticisms of LA Knight. And I thought Knight's comeback, even though it was going to be a lot more difficult to come up with, I thought they gave you something great here. He says they didn't choose me because they couldn't make me the company's lapdog like they did you, basically. I've been doing everything I can to get here while this place has been betting on all the wrong horses. You being one of them is I think an ether level 9 line from LA Knight that just completely reduces the Miz's accomplishments to nothing. Again, pulled from reality. Yes, a little bit on the sort of work shoot scale, but I think it still works in the context of, a pro wrestling promotion that favors one guy by putting him in certain spots. So ultimately you got a really high level showcase of LA Knight's charisma, his ability to, again, be confident and his great delivery. And you had the Miz here, I think, in almost at his best, in sort of his talking smack form. So huge kudos to the both of them, including the writers, whoever came up with this. And I continue to be The Miz deserves his like plenty of appreciation as like a guy who continues to feel like one of the most selfless people to just kind of play like welcome mat, you know, for any new person that they're debuting and doing a great job at it.
This is the like match equivalent of like coming in and you just get like you're there to get the other guy over and put his finisher over, in this case like a catchphrase, or it just be you are there to be the stepping stone. And he's a very unselfish performer, and that's consistent with Mike Mizanin. That's what this segment needed.
Real name.
Listen, Sean. Listen, Sean Ricker.